Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Today I would like to talk to you about an important information that every Muslim should know. According to the prophetic sunnah, the beginning and the end of Ramadan should be marked by the sighting of the crescent moon. But in some parts of the world, such as in Europe and North America, where we have perpetual cloud cover, this is an impossible task to achieve, which then leads to unreasonable practices such as following moon sighting in countries such as Saudi Arabia, which are thousands of miles away, which is not correct and against sunnah. So it is important for us to have a very clear understanding of this issue, and this is what I'll try to explain in this video. The time it takes for the moon to go around the earth is not constant. It is sometimes 29 days, it's sometimes 30 days, and this leads to the unpredictability of sighting the crescent moon. And the second issue is about the illumination of the moon. How much of the surface of the crescent moon has been lit. The early crescent moons are extremely dim, and these pictures of the crescent moon have been taken with a telescope when the crescent moon has been 5 and 6% illuminated, and it shows how difficult it is to see the crescent moon with the naked eye. Despite these problems, there is something you can actually do to make a better decision about the crescent moon visibility and illumination by using an application such as the one that you can see here called Stellarium, which is actually completely free. You can input your geographical location, and for any given date and time, it will give you the illumination accurately of the crescent moon as seen over your geographical region. You can even move the timeline back and forth for even several centuries, and it will still give an accurate information. And before you scorn at me that this is some sort of technological mumbo jumbo, this is nothing but pure mathematical calculation, knowing the orbit of the moon around the earth. In the Quran, Allah says, وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَقٍ يَسْبَحُونَ, which means the sun and the moon are floating around in their preordained paths, which makes it easier for us to calculate their position at any given date and time, as well as the illumination. We actually use these mathematical calculations in our day-to-day life, including in our prayer matters, such as in the prayer time schedules, which are produced several months in advance, only using mathematical tools and not by going and standing outside and looking at the midday sun or measuring the length of the shadows. There are lots of other such things that use mathematics in your day-to-day life, even if you are not aware of it. For example, the GPS system that you use to drive to the masjid actually works on the mathematics of special relativity. In fact, we Muslims have a very rich tradition of following scientific principles during the European Dark Ages, spearheaded by our Islamic scholars from the 9th, 10th, and 11th centuries. And so there is absolutely no reason for us to shun technology and mathematics as something incompatible with our faith. The full moon is 100% illuminated, and the new moon is somewhere around 0% mark, and anything in between goes for the different phases of the moon. And the crescent moon, for it to be visible, should be at least 1.5% illuminated, which is nearly 1/100th of the illumination of the full moon. As you can see here in this illumination information, even on software animation, it is difficult to see the illumination of the moon as it gets below 2% mark. In the UK, it was announced that the crescent moon was sighted on the 10th of March, and therefore Ramadan will begin on the 11th of March. But as you can see here, on the evening of the 10th of March, the crescent moon was only 0.2% illuminated, which is 1/500th of the illumination of the full moon. And more importantly, it was following close on the track of the sun, and it actually set within 15 minutes of the setting, and even the most powerful telescope on earth would not have been able to see the crescent moon against the brightness of the setting sun. And on the same evening, the illumination of the crescent moon in Saudi Arabia was 0.1%, which was less than what was seen in London, and yet they announced that they actually had seen the moon, which is scientifically impossible and just must be a miracle. I don't know what else to say. You can either use this application or websites such as timeanddate.com, where you can input your location, and then you can look at the moon phases and moonrise and moonset times, and you can look at the illumination. As you can see here, on the 10th of March, the illumination of the moon was 0.1% during midday, and it would not have gone beyond 0.2% by the time it set. That would be impossible to see, and with this website you can also see that on the 9th of April, the crescent moon visibility will be high enough for the Eid to be on the 10th of April. You can also use other websites such as moonsighting.com, and as you can see on the top picture, on the 10th of March, the crescent moon would not have been visible anywhere in the world, and on the following day, which is the second picture, it would have been visible all over the world. Note in particular, it would not have been visible in Saudi Arabia at all. Brothers, it is important for us to use the ilm that Allah has given us to understand these issues, and not to blindly follow the manifestly impossible statements of moon sighting that come from Saudi Arabia every year. And may Allah protect us from such misguidances. And brothers and sisters, hope you have found this video helpful, and once again, Ramadan Mubarak to you all. Assalamu alaikum.